Okay, so tell us about what made you decide you wanted to be a lawyer, and tell us about that pursuit.
Well, like I said earlier, I didn't learn to read until about 7 years old. When I started school, I started to read. But my uncle lived with us for quite a bit, worked at the sawmill. My uncle Wilfred, um, he was sort of my hero, but he had all these Western pocket novels, Lewis L'Amour, Zane Grey, laying around in his room. So I loved to read. So I started reading those books, and I don't know where I got the notion that I wanted to be a lawyer, but I do recall telling my grandmother around 12 years old what I wanted to do for a living, and or she asked me what I wanted to be when I grew up, and I said a lawyer. But see, nobody in hardly anyone in my community ever finished grade 10 or grade 9, let alone high school. And then to be a lawyer was sort of, nobody really knew what a lawyer did. I didn't, but that's what I wanted to be. And she sort of chuckled. She sort of chuckled and spoke a little bit of English. And she said, "A liar or te?" with me. Well, maybe a liar. But so it's kind of I've soon found out that maybe it's a bit of the same thing. Yeah. But that's that. Yeah. So it was a dream that I had from a child. I went. I started a phys ed degree at U of A. Went into education, and then ultimately took a native law program in Saskatoon, and then got admitted to U of A. And then I wasn't successful. I didn't. Um, I was asked to take some time off. So I could have probably gone back much sooner, but I ended up getting a couple of children, got married, and next thing you know, I was in a career, and I still hadn't fulfilled my dream. So in my 30s, I decided to move to Ottawa and go to law school, and I graduated working full time at the same time and raising a family, and graduated, and then got admitted to the bar in Alberta, and worked for a while at the university teaching, but I really wanted to practice law. So I practiced law with Walkowicz and Company, a kind of well-known legal name in Alberta, in Edmonton anyway. And then I kind of hung my own shingle, and I've been doing a road show for the past 20 years, practicing in places like Cold Lake and St. Paul. I'm outside the courthouse in St. Paul right now in my vehicle because I had court in Cold Lake this morning and St. Paul this afternoon. But that's kind of been my life for the last 20 some years. The judges call myself and a few other guys that do a lot of rural work the road warriors. So I'm a road warrior. And I practice 100% criminal law, defending largely people from the community that I come from. I mean, by that I mean the Indigenous community. A lot of my clients are young Native men and women, and there go I, but for the grace of God. In fact, I was there once when I was younger. After my grandma died, I floundered a bit and got myself into a little bit of trouble. But it's like I've come full circle, and I think it's a spiritual thing. This is where I was destined to be. And now I have a 30-year-old son doing the same thing, criminal law.
Oh,
So he's a young up and come. My youngest boy is a lawyer. One of my oldest boys is also a lawyer, but never been inside of a courtroom. He's a partner in Dentons in Toronto.